Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Good morning and happy game day to everyone. As you can see, we are joined by Courtney and Steve Malloy, getting ready for the big game. Unfortunately, guys, we got to wait many hours before our Dolphins play, so we have to see some other action. Courtney will have some, I guess, interest in some of the game because I know her family yesterday, her team won, and they could be helped out by time we even play tonight. Our game could be irrelevant to them, but they may need us to win if Jacksonville wins. So it'll be interesting to see. Courtney, for one night, you'll be having Steelers fans root for the Dolphins, maybe. So
they do root for the Dolphins with me as long as our opponent doesn't affect them.
Right. Okay.
I will say there is some teamwork there.
Okay.
My brother called me yesterday and said, I'm a huge Dolphins fan tomorrow. So
yeah, no, it could very well. It depends on what happened. I know, but if Jacksonville loses, right, then they don't have to worry. They're already in or something like that. I don't know. I know there's so many scenarios. I know our scenarios, but some of these other teams
isn't oh no, that's the Houston Texans. I'm sorry. The Houston Texans are in. Yeah, Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
I'm not sure about.
I think the Bills need if Jacksonville loses, I think the Bills are in.
Oh, okay, right. But if Jacksonville wins and then we beat, that'd be the best scenario. Jacksonville wins, we beat the Bills, and the Bills are out.
Yeah.
So
right.
That'd be the best scenario. That would be the best scenario. But anyway, absolutely. I know our scenarios. You win, you're the AFC East champs. If you lose, you're on the road to Kansas City, and it's going to be a long road to get to the ultimate goal. But today we're going to worry about the Buffalo Bills, guys. So how are you feeling this early morning heading in? Before we talk too much, Steve, how are you going? How are you feeling this morning heading into tonight's game?
Who are you asking?
He said
Steve.
Oh, me. My bad. Look, I know the Dolphins. They can win this game. They can win this game for sure. But my confidence level, based on I'm basing it. Maybe I shouldn't be like this, but I'm basing it on last week. I'm not feeling very confident. But there's some things that Miami Dolphins can do that I think they'll be able to win this game. And there's no doubt they can win this game. They have number one offense in the football. Tua has been playing very well all year, with the exception of a few games here and there. I think it's going to be up to our offense. Now, of course, our defense has to come to play, but I think our offense in the games that we've lost, our offense hasn't been averaging but 18.4 points a game. They've got to do better than that this week if they're going to beat Buffalo. And McDaniel, I believe, he's going to have to adjust. They cannot be doing the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, that's the definition of insanity, right? So I feel confident that McDaniel will have some tricks up his sleeve, and hopefully we can win this game. Okay. We need it.
Courtney, before you start talking, I love that shirt, man. I love that. That's like an awesome logo.
Yeah, I like that. That's old school.
Yeah, love it.
If there's a throwback logo around me, I'm buying it. I don't care what.
I know. I love the throwback. Even though today I'm rocking the new one, but I love. See, look up there. There's that logo there.
I will be. It'll be easier for me to buy the old school logo than the new logo. Like I can hesitate on the new logo. Do I need that? I don't know. Old school logo, I'm eating it up. It's mine.
I know, exactly. It's funny how we say new logo and it's been around a decade already.
I know.
but I still say new logo too. But man, it shows how time fast. Hey, good morning, Lance. G-Man. Don't worry, Courtney. You're going to get their card fins. Guys, nail those thumbs up for us. Big fins up. Nail the thumbs up for our Dolphins victory today. So, Courtney, what's your feelings going into tonight before we get really into the game?
Nervous. I'm not as confident, I think, after last week's meltdown.
Yeah.
I'm also not confident with the injuries that we have going into this game. And, there's a lot of key personnel, I think, missing. And I think that I would be remiss to think that that's not going to affect both offense and defensive sides of the field. I really think it's going to come down to when we get the final who's in, who's out for me to gauge. But right now, I'm on the lower confidence level, especially in Fangio and the defense. I think I really lost a lot of confidence in them last week when I just didn't see the adjustments. And I really need to see the right personnel in the right space today, offense and defense. I'm more confident with Mozart out, having Achan in there. I think he killed it last week. I think that he's really stepping up. So I think that I'm not as worried as I was last week about the offense without Mozart. But I'm nervous.
Hey, I'm nervous too, and don't worry, SoCal, we all get crazy at times. It's all good in the Dolphin hood. So, but anything, nope, nothing. Did you see guys Larry interview on Tobin? Nope, I did not. He said the turkey is cooked on the time. Hey, I did not see it, but hey, I know Steve, you're gonna want to see that. You're a Larry Zonka fan guy. So
He's my man right there.
yeah,
Larry
that's
Zonka.
it. You're the number 39 guy.
Yep.
So I'm nervous about today. Now it's my turn. I'm nervous about today simply because of Buffalo's recent dominance over us. Yes, we got the one win at Hard Rock against them last year where it came down to the final play where they didn't have enough time on the clock and we walked out of there with the escaping by the skin of our teeth. And then we played them tough last year, so it gave me hope. Okay, and then the other two games, it was close. We lost both games up there that could have gone either way. But then this year, they come in and just totally blow us out of the water. And it was ugly. And then I said, oh, man, the Bills still own us. And when I read over some of the Josh Allen's number here in a second, it's not very pretty, guys. Just because I know, Courtney, you love poking fun at Josh Allen at times, but for whatever reason, when he plays the Dolphins, he's a different Josh Allen in his numbers. Oh, Evan, go be happy in Canada, Evan. Come on, Evan. Don't go. He's trolling us, but it's all good. So he's really worried. He's down if you could see him in our group chat. So I'm like, oh boy. Evan, there is hope. If the Dolphins win tonight, the ship can be righted. But real quick, guys, not to bore anyone, I'm just going to read it real quick what Josh Allen has done against the Dolphins. But believe me, it's not pretty, guys.
Can I put my earplug
against my? He's 9-2.
Can I put my earplugs in?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to want to.
No,
He's 9-2 against Miami with a 31-5 touchdown to interception ratio. He has a career passing rating against Miami of 110, which is the second best among any teams that he's faced more than once. And the other teams, as a team, he's faced 3 times, the Rams. His past 4 games against Miami has been 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and passing yard totals of 400, 304, 352, and 320. And those 320 yards came this year where he had a perfect 158.3 passer rating in the 48-20 victory over the Miami Dolphins. So why does he, Steve, why does he own us that bad? What do you think that he puts up those numbers? It's a defense. They just have something against us. And I let you talk, Courtney, but I just know you're not a big Josh Allen guy.
I know a lot of Dolphin fans don't want to hear this, but they just bully us. And we, in our defense, we have a history of also playing. We just don't know how to contain quarterbacks. Look at the game last week, and I hate to bring it up, but everybody said, well, Lamar Jackson didn't run on us. You know why? Because we gave him so much time to pass the ball back there. He could have baked a cake. And the reason for that is if you watch all 22 and you watch the film, whenever he was going back to throw the pass, all eyes were on him. All eyes were on him. And when he let the ball go, it was too late. just that split section where those guys were watching him, were spying on him, our linebackers especially. As soon as he let that ball go, it was too late. The guys were even the guys who were back deep. I can't remember who it was. They were spying on him too. They were more concerned about him running than they were about him throwing. And then what happened? We gave him too much time back there, and he can throw the ball, and that's what happened. But today, and I know I'm talking a lot here, but today it's a catch-22. What do? Do we blitz him? Do we put a spy on him? What do? Do we let him just bake a cake back there like we did Lamar Jackson, or what? That's the question today.
Yeah, I know, but I know he just, for whatever reason, he really beats us down. Probably part of the Courtney's reason that you don't like Josh Allen, because why does he show up as Superman against the Dolphins, Courtney? Do you think it's just our scheme, or he just gets, did we look at him the wrong way in the draft process and he has a vendetta against the Dolphins?
I'm not giving Josh Allen all the credit. I'll never give Josh Allen credit.
Yeah, I know.
I think that it's game planning. I think that it's probably the coaching schemes on both sides. I think it's the defensive plays that we call up. I'm not saying that he comes out and he just bulldozes us. It's just how we game plan for him and how we execute that game plan. That's why I said I have a lot on Vic right now, because it's the game plan last time we played him didn't work, hasn't worked. But I don't think it's simply Josh Allen is so much. This year, I'll bore you with some stats. How about the fact that he has on the year 27 touchdowns and 16 interceptions on this season? And they want to say how much better he is? Tua has 28 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Let's not add in the fact that their run game's non-existent. We have a balanced attack. I don't think that it's that he comes out and he's a stud, because Josh Allen not throwing interception probably is less, like, that rarely happens. Like, I could get hit by a car probably easier than Josh Allen not throwing an interception.
Well, I like your confidence. Don't say that, Courtney.
Not Josh Allen. It's the game plan. It comes down to the coaching, the game plan, and the execution. I don't think that he has some secret recipe that he can come over and he can beat. It's a divisional game. They can always go either way. They're always a little bit more competitive than a non-divisional game. Right. And if for some reason our coaching staff, and we're not putting together the right game plan for him. He is the turnover leader in the NFL. So let him turn the ball over, because he's going to turn the ball over. I mean, I'll put money on that. Yeah. And I think we need to switch it up.
I love your confidence, Courtney. I love that confidence. Scotty thinks we may shadow. We may, because this week Ramsey didn't outright say he wouldn't shadow. So there's a little glimmer. There's a glimmer of hope, because I do not want Cater. We've seen this story unfold before. I do not want Cater Kohu on Diggs. I do not. We know what the recipe is, and it leads to them baking us for big, cooking us. If you have Jalen Ramsey shadowing Diggs, that's going to leave Cater Kohu and Eli Apple on Gabe Davis. And so who's going to have a big day? Gabe Davis. I know.
Well, let's not forget about Knox, the tight end. They got two big tight ends as well.
I don't want Cater Kohu or Eli Apple covering anybody. And
well, they're going to have to, because they're going to be out there. So, but I still don't. We've already seen the story of them covering Cater Kohu on Diggs. So I don't want to see that. At least I want to see a change up. And if you take Ramsey out, let those other guys beat you, then fine. Just don't let their best beat you, Steve. That's how I look at it.
Because and Eli Apple on the bench more than on the field. I want to see Cam Smith and Nick Needham out and covering. Yeah. And I will die on that hill. I don't care if you don't agree with me. I don't care if you tell me that Vic Fangio is the coach and he knows better than me. I will die on the hill that I know better than Vic Fangio right now.
You're getting fired up, man. I love this, Courtney.
I've been fighting off Bill's trolls all week. If my own fan base wants to come at me for that, come at me. I don't care. I'll die on the hill. Show me tape of Eli Apple making more than one play a game.
Yep. Hey, guys, there's a whole bunch of you in here, so I can't name you all, but J-Mac, big fins up. I think that's the first time maybe you found us. So big fins up to you. Nail those thumbs up button. And Matt from Facebook, thank you. Hey, we had Nick Needham's mom on Courtney's show one night recently. So we would love to see Needham get in there and get some action, because at this point, when things aren't working, do something a little different. And last week, our defense definitely wasn't working. And yes, I don't make excuses, but there are reasons that our defense has come down. Xavier Howard really hasn't been 100% all year, but now he's out. Then you get no Phillips for the past few weeks, no Chubb. So I understand. I understand people say, "Oh, but we got this." But unfortunately, you got to deal. Like if you play poker, you got to play with the hands. The cards you're dealt, and the cards we're dealt with is no Chubb's going to be lining up for us. No Phillips is going to be lining up for us, and a whole bunch of guys on offense. But at the end of the day, Steve, you just have to go out there. This is a team that was built to win and win now. This wasn't saying, "Oh, we're going to win good in a couple of years." That's what we were a couple of years ago. This is a team that was built to win this year, Steve. So I know you understand injuries and it does play a part, but are you going to let that be an excuse tonight, or do you expect the Dolphins to go out there and play to win this game and expect them to win?
No, I expect them to win. I mean, I expect they should win, and they can win. But I know a lot of folks are blaming, or putting a lot of blame on the defense, and all this. But my philosophy is a little different, and my opinion is a little different than some of the folks, and maybe Courtney as well. Where's our offense been?
You're right. They haven't shown up in the tough.
Yeah, I mean,
teams. I say all teams are good in the NFL, but they haven't showed up against the better of the good. They haven't shown up big in the big games this year for whatever reason on offense. I agree with you on that take. When you went over the numbers before the show, behind the scenes, what they're averaging per game against non-playoff caliber teams as opposed to playoff caliber teams is a big difference. So today, though, we can write that free Smith. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, though. I do not think that's going to – she has a free Smith, meaning get Cam Smith out there. But I don't think that's going to happen, Courtney. I think, like Scotty says, I've accepted how Fangio runs his secondary. We aren't going to see Needham today. Fangio sets his secondary, and that's that. He doesn't rotate. You're basically pretty right. I don't know. Courtney, do you think he just doesn't trust rookies, Fangio?
I think Fangio's ego is going to be his biggest downfall. I think that he's been around so long. He's considered a guru. I think he's set in his ways. And I think he thinks that he knows better than everybody because he's a guru and everybody agrees that he's a defensive guru. And I think what worked for him maybe years ago, the NFL is changing. The players are changing, agility, mobility. And I think that he's set in his ways. And I think that that's going to be his biggest downfall, is that maybe he doesn't adapt. He thinks that what he came up with and how he runs it is the best. And I think that that's his downfall. But I have heard a lot that he doesn't like to play rookies. But we took a rookie in the second round. Like, that's a high pick to not touch the field behind a veteran. When you listen to his press conference, he basically was like, "Oh, I'm not doing him because I can't trust him. He needs to develop. He was describing Eli Apple. You can't what he was saying about Cam Smith in that press conference, it was Eli Apple. And so it didn't clear up any confusion about why Eli is out there. At least Cam is moldable and he's young and you can teach him. You know what I mean? Eli Apple is also like Fangio. He's a vet. He's a little set in his ways. How he plays, you know what you're going to get from him. You're not going to see much change, I don't think.
Yeah. And let me just piggyback on that. Yes. Vic Fangio is the coach. I mean, he's the head coach of the defense. And he probably has final say, I'm sure, on who plays and who doesn't. But we got to remember, we've got Sam Madison, who is one of our best cornerbacks in all of football, and he's coaching up Cam Smith, and he said the same thing. He's not ready. Yeah, I trust Sam Madison.
Yeah. So there you go. I don't know.
That's what Vic is saying. He's not ready. Sam Madison's not going to come out in a press conference and say, "No, he's ready," but screw Vic back here. He's not.
No, I agree 100%. But I'm thinking if he was ready with those two heads, right? Vic Fangio and Sam Madison, if he was ready at all, I think that he would be in there, and he's not. And I've seen him when they were down here doing joint practices in Houston. I was there, and he's a very, very, very small guy. I mean, he has no muscle. He's very thin. and he was hurt. He's been hurt he was hurt most of the preseason, and he was hurt even before they started making contact in training camp. So
Oh, I know.
he missed a lot of reps. He missed a lot of time. Getting in there, getting some reps and playing time and learning the system. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
No, it does. And hey, Landsman, you're right. We did get to a top 5 and we were all drinking the fan. I think a lot of us are maybe just remembering last week's game where it just seems like everyone was running wide open. I'm talking about like neighborhood football where someone just forgets to cover their buddy because they're looking at a car coming down the street. And then it's just like they were wide open. So I think a lot of us it's recency bias, but just looking at from some of these guys in comments, we're a ride Wayne's. We got Tua chokes in big game. Tyreek hasn't shown up in big games. The defense, people are agreeing with Courtney a lot on the defense. Evan saying we've choked away a 3-game lead, but man, there's a wide gauntlet of people blaming everywhere. So that's the problem. We got to figure out what that problem, the team needs to figure it out, not so much we do, but they just got to get out there and show up today, man. If we get embarrassed today like we did last week, then yes, I'm going to have no hope going. At least if we're competitive, you say, okay, you go out there and you battle to the last play of the game and then the ball bounces against you. It's going to suck. I'm going to be disappointed because we would have blown the, but if you go up and have another Baltimore showing where you just get like you didn't even show up. And I know they tried, they got injured, they got punched in the mouth and they never bounced back in that game. I understand it. I even saw Nick Needham's mom comment, speaking of Nick Needham, saying that, we treat these guys like robots sometimes. We don't treat them like humans because, they're prone to have ups and downs.
Sure.
And I guess she saw how ugly it got on Dolphins Trader over the past couple of days. And, it's just, it is. And I know I do sometimes too. We think these guys are pro athletes and they're robots, but at the end of the day, they're human and they're going to have their good days and their bad days. But with this hope, they regroup this week and they have that little fighting spirit that you've been calling for all year, Steve and Courtney, and they come back today, Courtney, with a little fighting spirit in them. Because you said, you heard Courtney, you heard Nick Needham's mom say she thought they were ready going into the Ravens game, and look what happened. We just had a worst defensive outing of the year.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw it, but she said it on your show, so I was all like, "Oh, good."
I felt confidence hearing her talk and speaking with her. I was like, "Oh, this defense is ready to come out and they're ready to play." And I was really concerned about our offense and can Achane be a featured back? Like he's never really been a featured back before. I'd really like to see him step up. He exceeded expectations. He was the only shining light and he was the flashlight in that game for me. But yeah, I jinxed it, or I was a little overconfident. So I'm reeling it back.
No, I'm sorry. Just getting caught up on the comment. You can keep on talking, guys. And this Evan says Tua has lost my respect. After now, you're sounding like Steve there, Evan. You always pick on Steve, saying he's off the bandwagon, but that's exactly what Steve said this morning behind the scenes, Evan. So you're thinking like Steve now. I think that's funny because him and Steve, you think if me and Evan go back and forth, him and Steve really go back and forth. So, but hey, Steve and Evan, you're on the same page today. What do you think about that, Steve?
About that comment?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, he's absolutely correct. I mean, I don't see any fire in Tua's eyes. I don't see any fire in Terron Armstead's eyes, and all I see is the same old, lollygagging with Mike McDaniel joking up at the podium. These guys are going in. They just blew a 3-game, lead.
Well, they haven't blown it yet. They haven't blown it.
No. What I'm saying is they blew that.
I know what you're saying. We should have had it clinched.
And here they are lollygagging, pinching each other's butts and all this kind of stuff. And they just don't show any fire. It's like, hey, Armstead say, hey, if we win, we go and play in Kansas City. Really, Armstead? The guy that blew his assignment on a miscommunication and almost got Tua's head cut off, pounded into the ground, which it did. If you watch the film, this guy, come on, man. We got to have, and I agree with all of us on this panel here and all of us Dolphin fans. I think we're just fed up and we're tired of this, mediocre play from the Miami Dolphins when, for the last, 23 years, Rob? and we want them to step up, show some fire, show some like they want to win some games, and do it. This is the game to do that today, and they can do that. They can do that. But the thing is that Mike McDaniel's he's going to have to make some adjustments today. He cannot do the same thing he's been doing as we've been discussing on this panel. And I'm with you, Rob. We've talked earlier today, and you said Miami's just gotta it's gonna be an offensive game. And for Miami. And it's going to have to be because they haven't showed up in the other games that they've lost, to these other teams. They've got to show up today. They cannot let Buffalo come in here and put points on the board first. They cannot do that today.
Right. We can't get boat race, which is a popular term among the young people. It seems like boat race. I'm like, what the heck, boat race? And then I get it because like boat races are sometimes, and we were boat race last week. So this week we got to go out there and maybe boat race.
Exactly.
We just got to score points.
Yes.
Because up there when we were there, they were scoring every single time. And the first few drives, it looked like, oh, okay, it's just going to be a high scoring game. But then we faded out on offense and they kept going on offense. So we just got to keep on going. We have to treat every single drive like we need a touchdown on that drive. It's just like, I know that's what they probably try to do every drive, but they really need to go out there. Because look, against the Ravens, they scored the first couple of times. But then Tyreek drops that one for sure touchdown. That would be 2 touchdowns on 2 drives. And once he touched it, I know it's not all on one play, but the game went downhill after he dropped that touchdown.
It set the tone. It set the tone for the rest.
Not that it may. We probably still would have got killed, but it just kind of was a, little disclaimer. Play longer what was coming for the rest of the game. It was just like a little hint, like, here we go, Courtney, when he dropped that. And he's like, I'm not going to pick on Tyreek because we wouldn't even be at the spot where we are right now and probably without Tyreek. But, man, that drop was just a bad drop, Courtney.
It changed the tone of the game, but it's easy to say that looking back.
Right.
But he's not the only one who dropped. There was a lot of drops. Chase Claypool dropped a touchdown as well in the zone. So I don't get on Tyreek. Tyreek is phenomenal. I think he's
he is definitely
he gets a couple drops.
Player.
He's fighting through, his injury as well. I hope his mind is right for, everything that happened.
The fire in his house and walking around in a boot.
Well, I read and somebody said that the players who are battling injuries or had injuries wear the boot except at practice just for extra support through the week. So
I know I did.
Common. So
I've heard that too, Courtney. I heard that because I know Ingo at the beginning of the year, he was wearing a boot almost every single week and then would line up. Hey, Matt, over there on Facebook, nail that thumbs up on Facebook. Trying to grow over there. Thank you for watching from Facebook, Matt, by the way.
I really think that offensively we need to I don't want to see bubble screens. I don't want to see a fade in the end zone. I want to see Tyreek burning, just turning on the jets, getting wide open, the 60-yard, touchdowns that he's had. I want to see Durham Smythe in the middle of the field. We need to get the tight end involved, a big body across the middle with their linebackers, bully their linebackers like everybody bullies ours, and give HN the ball. Like, we kind of dropped off in the second half of the Ravens game with our run game. I think that we need to keep that up. As much as Tua's throwing first and second down, I want to see HN running that ball. Give it to Wilson. Has been having a phenomenal, couple of weeks when he's been, in the rotation. I want to see a run. If you have the solid run game with HN, you have Durham Smythe and Chase Claypool. I'll put Claypool in there. I'll give him redemption. Mm-hmm. 2 big bodies to bully their linebackers. And then you have Tyreek running downhill. I don't think you can go wrong. I think it'd be really hard for the Bills to stop those 3 levels. I think if you have those 3 levels executing well, you can't stop that offense. It's when those 3 levels, when Tua doesn't have the 3 levels, is when I think he struggles. I don't know who's going to line up opposite Tyreek. I think, I hope it's not Braxton Berrios, but Berrios.
I think it's going to be a committee, Courtney.
Committee, yeah.
By committee.
Robbie Chosen. He's been getting open. If you look, the passes.
He's been open a few times, yeah.
He's open because everybody's forgetting about him out there on that field. I think that it's, those are my 3 levels of the offense that I think they'd be unstoppable if they execute perfectly, and we don't throw another flipping fade in the end zone.
No, I know the fade is, especially to the guys well, they did try to throw it though to Cedric Wilson at least this last time, so at least that's a step in the right direction. So
Yeah.
we're improving on that front. And thank you again, Matt, for that big love over there on Facebook.
Forget about Robbie Chosen, and he's there. He's caught a couple of passes. He went down that concussion, but I think get them involved because all eyes are on Tyreek. All eyes are going to be on probably Durham Smythe because he's had a couple of really big games. So have these other guys, they're not going to get the respect that some of our other starters are going to get. And so that's when they can just go right to the team and pop out.
Yeah. Hey, I like it. And back to Tua. I know that's always the elephant in the room when it comes to Dolphins. Twitter is the most hotly contested name, but overall, Tua has not played well against Buffalo. So this would be his chance to shine because as well as Josh Allen's played against us, for whatever reason, Tua's number are just pedestrian against the Buffalo Bills because as pretty as his numbers are, that when I read Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills fans, Tua's numbers against is bad. This is him. Real quick, guys, and I'm not bashing Tua. I like Tua. He's our guy. But against Buffalo, he's 1-5 against Buffalo with 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 79.6 passer rating. So against teams that he has faced more than once, his passing rating is worse only against Tennessee, and he's only faced Tennessee twice. So that's the only team he has a worse passer rating against in his career. So for whatever reason, Josh Allen shines against Miami and Tua doesn't shine against Buffalo. So that might be a common denominator right there over recent history. And I'm not saying Tua can't do it. I do believe he's our quarterback moving forward. He's our guy. He's going to end up getting his money and that. So I'm not knocking him, but I do believe I'm putting a little pressure on his shoulders. More like one more fan putting pressure on his shoulder. To me, Tua needs to go out there and ball out and show us why he's a franchise quarterback moving forward, that he can slay the dragon, that he can take control of an important game when it's all on the line for the division title. And that's it. Because I'm going to be very disappointed. I'll be honest. Still being a Dolphin fan, will always be a Dolphin fan, whether they go 1-16 now. We were 1-15 one year, but now they'd be I would still rock my Aquaman Orange like you, Steve, but I'd be really disappointed if we don't win the AFC East after having a 3-game lead for forever. And now it's, like you say, down to where we have to win. I'd be very disappointed, really disappointed if we're a one and done in the playoffs all over again. After spending all this money, making all these moves, acquiring all the draft picks, moving draft picks for players that are established, signing guys to come in here and play. All for the same thing we wore, under Adam Gase, one and done in the playoffs. To me, it'd be unacceptable, Steve. And then we get more positive, though, as we close out the show here in a few minutes. We get more positive, guys. But where do you guys stand? If we win, are you thinking that's enough, or you still want the one playoff win at least?
We have to have the one playoff.
Courtney.
Yeah, okay. I know we all want the Super Bowl end of the day. We all want the Super Bowl, but would you be satisfied with a playoff win, at least one playoff win?
I mean, I wouldn't be satisfied, but I would feel more confident in the team moving forward. Because otherwise, all of this, the records, the stats, none of it matters if you lose the first round of the playoffs like last year. You're the exact same team that you were last year then, in my mind. So in my mind, you win the game, and I won't be satisfied until I see a Super Bowl. But
right.
But
I know that's Steve's standard. That's why I softened it a little bit, saying I know you expect a Super Bowl every year. All of us does.
Sure, that's the goal.
I don't care if you're a Carolina player or a fan. You expect you want your team to win going into every season, even though you know the odds are against you. That should be the whole reason we root for the teams. It's for entertainment. But at the end of the day, if you're a fan like us that walk around wearing Miami Dolphins stuff half the time of our life, you expect a little good performance, Steve. So we know, Steve, I know you talking to you. You won a Super Bowl and you expect an AFC championship at least. But would you at least be happy this year if the Dolphins win the AFC East by slaying Buffalo tonight and then going out next week and beating whoever they happen to play however today shakes up and whoever our first round opponent next week is, and getting that victory, would you be at least like, okay, they did something in the right direction? Or are you still Super Bowler only?
No, no, no. I definitely, as you said, I expect the team to win a Super Bowl, but um, this year with what we've been talking about, from the beginning of the year with the talent that we have on this team, yeah, I know we got some injuries, so did a bunch of other teams, but with the talent we have, and the way that Tua has been playing very well this year, with the exception of some of the bad games that he had. Now, hey, everybody has bad games, right? But yeah, I would absolutely be happy if we won the championship, AFC championship, or not the the AFC division, and we won a Super Bowl game. I agree. We would be in the right direction and in the right steps for next year and
Right.
maybe even the future. And I would even say, hey, and if Tua doesn't have to perform elite, but he doesn't turn the ball over and he performs good, I'd say, okay, moving forward, let's go with this quarterback. Maybe we can, build something around him. But here is the $1 million question. If we're going to pay Tua $50 million or $40 million, you're not going to see a lot of these same players on the team that we have now.
Yeah, not in
So
the future, right? For
in
next
the
year, they can
future,
actually free up money, but yeah, eventually they
in the
can get
future.
kicked down to
So
the.
yeah, so we're going to pay him that much money for 4 or 5 years, and then the following year he's not going to have the same players around him that aren't as good. You're not going to find a Tyreek every day. You can
Yeah.
find the speed, but you can't find the Tyreek. Tyreek is a big, as we all said, he's a big asset on this team. He makes look, whatever you want to say about Tua, Tyreek makes great adjustments on the football. He did it with Mahomes, and he's doing it with Tua. He makes very good adjustments. You cannot find a guy that can run routes and as fast as he is and can adjust to the ball like Tyreek
Oh,
Hill. That's hard to find. He's a special player.
He's a special player, and
He's a
it's good to,
special player.
yeah.
But yeah, I would be happy. I would be happy with that moving forward. Yes. To
All
answer
right.
your
Same
question.
with Matt over on Facebook. He agreed. Hey guys, I see Finn's take with CB83. Make sure you check out his show. He brings good stuff all the time here on YouTube and other outlets. Good guy to follow. But Courtney, I'm going to ask you real quick because I know you won't give a score prediction because I am meeting someone at Bowl Campers, which is like a 40-minute drive from where I am. So a good old friend of mine that's going to the game tonight that I haven't seen for a couple years. So I'm going to go meet him. Courtney, I'm starting with you because you're like a yes or no. I mean, or one word answer. Who's going to win tonight?
I have to see the injury report.
Okay.
If Xavier Howard is definitely out, which I think he is, I have to go with the Bills. If Xavier Howard does not play in the secondary, I've never had this take. I don't trust the backups that we have in the secondary to shut down the Buffalo Bills, especially on like a primetime game. Without Xavier Howard and putting Eli Apple in, I can't do it. I want the Dolphins to win. I'm rooting for the Dolphins to win.
Of course, you don't have to. Of course, I look at your background. Look at that beautiful shirt you're wearing. I love that shirt, by the way.
Without Xavier Howard, this secondary is not going to get it done.
All right. I have a feeling I'm saving my prediction for last and try to end on a positive as my little hint. Steve, I don't know. I haven't talked to you. I don't know where you stand at all. Most of the time I talk to you during the week. We've talked, but I never even asked you how you feel about this game. How do you feel about this game?
Man, Rob, I've been up and down throughout the week. I've had mixed emotions. I've let the homer get the best of me. I've let the objective, non-bias get the best of me. I just been up and down, man. Man, if Miami can control the ball, if the offense can come to play today, I know everybody's concerned about the defense. I'm more concerned about this offense, and can Mike McDaniel adjust to what Baltimore is doing on the field? And if Tua can have a really good game and he can execute, no matter whether it's a running play or passing play, if he can execute, we got a good chance of winning this game. But I'm going to have to go with Bills today. I think the Bills, and I'll give a prediction. I think, I'm sorry to say, ladies and gentlemen, but the Bills are going to win this game 31-23.
Well, I'm close to you, but I have the Dolphins. I just believe that the Dolphins at home, even though I've said all year they don't play well on prime time, but I think the Dolphins will find a way to win. And I think, and it means it's probably going to be a defensive game because I think we are going to have to win on offense. I see Miami winning like a 31-28. So when you said 31, my numbers perked up. I see the Dolphins winning like a 31-28 game. They get it done on Evans' jersey wearing Jason Sanders field goal as time expires, something like that, and we win the game. And that's it. That's probably the homer in me. That's the Dolphin in me.
No, man.
As you say,
dude,
I hope Dolphin color shades.
No, Rob. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. I hope I'm completely wrong. I just don't have the confidence, from last week, what I've seen and when they've played other good teams. I just, and the way that they just don't have the fire, man. But look,
like CB. We are resilient, though. We're resilient. We haven't lost 2 games in a row all season.
True. That's a good thing going for us. You're right.
Yeah.
And look, McDaniel, even though I say McDaniel, I'm sorry, Courtney. Even though I say McDaniel needs to adjust and he hasn't done it in a lot of these games. Look, still, Mike McDaniel, when's the last time a coach has brought us to 2 playoffs in 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
So
I know.
I'm sorry, Courtney. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I said I like McDaniel, but I think our offense is going to execute well, but our offense cannot carry this game. And if our defense lets up 56 points again, I don't care how great we're running on all cylinders. You need that balanced attack. And so I'm more concerned about defense, because if the defense shuts down the Bills, that puts less strain on the offense to put up those numbers, especially time of possession. So I don't think I think it's going to be our defense to make sure that the offense doesn't have to have those numbers with everybody out. But if the defense is letting them score all over them, then the offense, it's going to be a nightmare. I think it starts on the defense. And
it's true. But our defense most of the year, and if you go back and watch these games,
we don't have Phillips. We don't have Xavier.
No. What I'm saying is the defense has given the ball back to the offense many, many times, and the offense has completely failed. That's why I say that it's going to has to be the offense to put up the points in order to give the defense a break. I mean, the defense, if the defense is on the field because the offense is one and done after 3 plays, what else can you do? What can the defense do? Right. So, but I agree. Yeah, the defense has to step up today too, Courtney. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They've got to do something to try to stop this good Baltimore offense. You're right.
Eli Apple has to.
I mean, not Baltimore, Buffalo.
I know. So true. Great. Another good point from Matt over there on Facebook. But guys, you guys rock. I really have to go because for whatever reason, GPS is telling me it's like a 42-minute drive from my home in Pembroke Pines to get over to Kim Bowl Camper. So I only been there one time for Dolphin Fan Appreciation Day this year, but it was just like a day I wasn't meeting anyone, so I didn't have to get there at a set time. I told him 11:30-ish, and now I'm looking at my clock, and my phone just told me it's like a 40-something minute drive. So I got to get my butt moving. You guys rock.
Pound the rock.
Thumbs up. Yes, pound the rock. Hey, KD, Shaq, and there was Utah Fins fan coming in from Twitter, man. That was awesome. I'd love to see Twitter comments. Miss Fins in the house. Guys, if you don't already know her, I'm sure you do, but check her shows out every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. She is putting out. She'll be there, win or lose tomorrow. She will be there giving her take. Always a great show to watch. Guys, I really got to run because I got to get a 40-minute car drive under my belt. You guys are the best. Courtney, thank you. Sorry for not confirming with you last night. I didn't see your message. But are you going to do a show tomorrow night?
I don't know. We'll see how my week. I think so, but I think it's just going to be me. I don't have anybody lined up, so it might just. All
right. Well, you can always ask Steve or Evan, and I'm sure Evan would join you. So.
Yes, you want to do it with me tomorrow? You want to come on the diaries?
What time?
7:30.
7:30. I'll DM you. I'll DM you. Confirm that.
All right. And Evan, that's an invite to you, and I can always be there too. So let me know.
Welcome.
All right. So,
Actually,
guys.
I would like to have Steve and Evan both on a post game show. I think that would be great.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah. Book it. Get with Evan and book it. All right, guys. Big fins up to all you guys. Dolphins #1, guys. Steve, even though you're not too sure tonight, Steve, still do your classic closeout.
Absolutely. Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins #1.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins.